Hey everyone, welcome to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay, so grab a brush, grab some models, grab some paints, and paint along with me. Let's rid our world of unpainted models. In this episode, I'm going to be working on some Killa Kans. I've been working on my orcs. I opened up that Pandora's box, and I'll be feeling that for the next probably 6 months. Maybe painting some side projects at the same time, but yeah, it looks like I'll be painting orcs for a while. So, it's been a little while since I've done a painting with Jay. Adam, you missed a spot, and I'll just talk about what's happened since, about the future. Yeah, exactly. So let's get started. As always, paint with me. Hey everyone, welcome back. As I said, it's been a little while since I've done a painting with Jay. I'm working on some Killa Kans. Now, as you know, I've had these Killa Kans for a long time. I've used them in countless battle reports for Miniwargaming and myself. So I had 3 more. As you can see, they're coming along quite well. I painted their bodies, and 2 of them I've primed the basing. One of them has just been sanded so far, or whatever that is, corked. And yeah, but when opening up these guys, as I said, I opened up Pandora's box when I started painting orcs again. I have so many orc models that could be painted, and I put them off intentionally, waiting for the new codex. And now that it's out, I'm really excited, and I'm using this excitement to help paint my models, right? Makes sense. Now that I'm really excited, I might as well paint some models. Now I know how to configure them. So with these guys, there were a few things. Number one, these guys were painted so long ago that I was really not happy with the overall paint job. I painted them for a tournament years and years ago, and I just never repainted them or even added more color. You know, all this brass was not painted, the green wiring wasn't painted, the arms were basically 2 colors, all more silver for the guns, and then some of them had a little bit of blue. So what I've done is I've gone back and repainted, touched up and updated all the paint jobs. So that way my cans actually have a bit of color on them, and they're more to a higher, standard than. There's barely 3 color minimum on a couple of parts. So I've done all the close combat weapons. I've done the bodies, and today I'm going to be finishing up the guns. Now for the guns, the other thing that I've had to do, which is okay because I'm going to take these and add them to dreadnoughts, so def dreads. 4 of my cans used to have custom Mega Blastas, which is I'm going to take these and add them to my Def Dreads, because I think Def Dreads with custom Mega Blastas are actually pretty cool, especially if you give them, if they're Def Skulls or Bad Moons, both of them will be pretty nice. I really like the new orcs, by the way. So I took those off, and I've now had to re-equip 4 of them with rockets, because for those who don't know, custom Mega Blastas are no longer available to Killa Kans. So here are all the Killa Kan arms that I'm going to be working on today. Over the next hour or so, I have 4 Gratzukas and 8 rockets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 is over here. I'm going to keep this painted the way it is because it was rusted for a tutorial. So that one's an old one. I'll keep that one the same as it is. This one's already done. So that's done, and then oh, sorry, right here. So I have I have 10 weapons, yes. So I'm gonna have, in the end, I'll have 8 rockets, right? 8 rockets, and I'll have 4 Gratzukas. That's a good combination, good points efficient. I think Gratzukas are really nice for taking down some infantry. Rockets are just amazing, especially with the new Daka rules at killing vehicles. So I'm going to start off by painting the greens, give them a wash, and then go back to the brasses. Yeah, we'll just do this one color at a time. It won't be too tough of a day for painting. I'm almost done these guys. I'll have them on my tabletop and ready to go soon. Yeah, as I said, it's been really, really good. So let's talk. What's happened since my last video? It's been a lot. I went to Europe. I had an amazing trip. I got back and I wasn't too good for a little while, like a week. It was pretty off, but that's okay. I had a great time. Jet lag and stuff. So right now I'm taking some Warpstone Glow. No, sorry, Warboss Green. Sorry, I'm painting them. The guns. Um, yeah. So Europe was really good. It was really nice. We landed in Munich, and we spent 4 to 5 days in Munich. All right, so that's all done. I'll update that part. So it was about 4 or 5 days in Munich. We landed in Munich the third last day of Oktoberfest, so I definitely had to go to Oktoberfest, and we decided to go like mere hours after getting there. So we landed at 8 a.m. and we were there at like, I don't know, 11. That was an interesting idea. But Munich was beautiful. You know, we did a lot of the sightseeing areas like the English Garden. We went to Dachau, which again, like, yesterday was Remembrance Day. So a place like Dachau, which those of you don't know is the oldest concentration camp in Europe. The Nazis. So it was one of those things that, you know, really just makes you think all the life that was lost there. Yeah. But, yeah, so we went there for an afternoon, spent about 5 hours at Dachau. We did Oktoberfest, which was really nice, and just did some sightseeing around the area, you know. Did a couple guided tours with our tour group, and it was really nice, really nice. What else? The food was good. We did several restaurants in Munich. I was able to find a games workshop in Munich as well. That was actually only like 5 minutes away from our hotel. It was really funny. So I went to a games workshop in Munich, just checked out things, and it was cool. I didn't buy anything because the prices for the Europe conversion wasn't amazing. And also it just didn't have a lot of stuff. None of the like online only I was hoping that maybe some of the online only products would be there. I know they're online only, it says, but maybe they'd be at a GW, you know, in Europe. Maybe they have different rules for what's online only. But nope. No, that was not the case. And that's okay. Yeah. What else? In Munich, so we went around the English Garden a couple times. It was a really nice, just huge garden and park. I did actually end up in I didn't of course partake, but I ended up in a clothing optional area. Yeah. Happens. Yeah, a lot of things in Europe. It was really cool. I love how efficient things were in Germany. Same with Austria as well, but everything was very efficiently designed. Everyone drives, you know, smaller vehicles because they're more realistic. You know, where I live in Peterborough, everyone drives a pickup truck, and I do not. And so I'm the minority here. But in Europe, I would fit in perfectly because I drive a small car, and that's what everyone drove. Yeah. I got addicted to drinking this pop called Spezi. It's basically Fanta and Coke. It's a good combination. So drinking that while being back, I just buy Fanta and Coke and mix them. Yeah, it was really just an awesome trip. So we started in Munich. From Munich, we ended up in Salzburg or Hallstatt next. Hallstatt, I don't remember. I think Hallstatt, the salt mine place. That was really nice. We were only there for a day. It was really nice. It was a beautiful place. It was the worst I slept the entire time. Just the hotel room was really, really warm. I hear that's the problem in Europe. They don't turn the air conditioning on as much. And plus while we were there, it was still, like, again, Celsius, but it was still very warm. It was late summer temperatures, you know, the entire time we were there, and we didn't see rain at all. It was beautiful weather the entire time. Can't complain about that, you know. Salzburg was really, really nice. Again, the whole thing was very Mozart focused, because that's where he was born. But that was cool. A lot of Sound of Music stuff. So, caught up with Sound of Music. It was fascinating. I didn't know this, actually, going ahead of time. Sound of Music is a very North American, loved movie. It is not a European loved movie. The Americans, like, we were the only Canadians in the group, but the Americans all loved The Sound of Music. And I knew a lot about The Sound of Music. But, yeah, it was fascinating that the Germans, the Austrians really didn't know or care too much about The Sound of Music. To them, it was just an American, Hollywooded film based loosely on the true story of the Von Trapp family. But there was a lot of, what really annoys the Austrians is the inconsistencies, the historic inaccuracies, and just, yeah, the way that the movie was overall filmed and portrayed. So, it's interesting. So the movie never did really well at all in Austria, where it was filmed. And, yeah. Yeah. So, it's interesting. But we had a great time. Great time. And then from Salzburg, we went to Vienna. Spent a few days in Vienna. It was really nice. It's where our tour ended, with our tour group. And then what we did was we went to Venice for 4 days, which was definitely enough time to check out everything in Venice. It was. Yeah, it was really good. I've never done a European tour before, and also I've really never been someone who goes to very touristy locations. I'm more of the off the beaten path type. Obviously I go to Gen Con and Adepticon, and that's packed with people too, but it's people in a common niche, and we all have fun at a convention, right? Not like, all those cities that I just mentioned, they're all really big tourist traps. And so you'd have to fight through a lot of people with just their cameras out, and I know some really weird stuff. And they warned us of stuff ahead of time, like people were there in wedding gowns and wedding attire, and they weren't getting married. It was just to take wedding photos around the world. It was a really weird phenomenon that's apparently taken off, where people take very expensive wedding photos around the world. Venice was really nice. Yeah. Venice was really nice. We were mostly relaxed in Venice, to be honest. I'm just going to now, while those are drying, hit them with Biotan shading for the greens. Venice was really nice. We mostly just relaxed, got some good authentic Italian food. Yeah. It was the whole trip, it was a lot of palaces, and a lot of palaces and museums, which once again are not my cup of tea, but that's okay. It's they were fun. I learned a lot, and then what I did was we had a couple points off. It wasn't like we're always with the tour group. We had evenings and some nights off, and so what I really wanted to do was I really wanted to go to the zoo. So I found out that Vienna has the world's oldest currently operating zoo. And it's an old, it was the old zoo, basically. It was just a collection of animals for king, for royalty, right? It was a palace, and there's a garden, like a really nice garden, and the zoo. So we went and spent most of a day at the zoo. Our last day in Vienna. We went to the Vienna Zoo, and it was really fun. There were a lot of animals that I had never seen before, or I haven't seen, young versions of. They had a relatively young African elephant. African elephant. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to remember for a second what a baby elephant's called. Cub? No. Elephant. Cub? Whatever it's called. And Adam, Adam, you missed a spot. By the way, I feel bad because all the time I was away, Adam was apparently missing spots and not being told that he was missing spots. So, yeah. So, that's my bad. What else? Yeah, it was a great trip. As I said, exhausting. I was doing like 25,000 steps a day, so it was fun. We did we did go on walks and stuff to prepare, but really we were not prepared for all the walking. It was funny. A lot of walking. A lot of walking. But that's okay. It was, as I said, really awesome trip. Would I do it again? Probably not the same places. I think we did all that we could do in those cities. Like, maybe we could have spent an extra day in like Hallstatt or something. But it was one of those things that it was very touristy, and we did all the touristy things, really. It wasn't, yeah, but it was really cool, as I said. I would probably do like Ireland next, or, you know, the next trip I might do is just within Canada. Something cheaper, you know, that I could just drive across the country in my car and enjoy Canada. Because I've seen now a few countries in Europe, but I really haven't seen Canada. So maybe next trip I'll do Canada. Probably if I headed in a direction, it would be east. East interests me a lot more than west, to be honest. Because in Canada, we'd have to drive west for days just to get out of, you know, Ontario. You know, we could drive east for 8 hours and be in Quebec. And then maybe go to like Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. That'd be really cool. So maybe we'll see. Have I got the travel bug? Not really. I don't travel a whole lot other than, you know, the conventions that I go to every year. It was really fun. Really expensive. So it's definitely something I'm not going to do again for a long time. But I'm glad I did it. I am very glad I did it. And we had a great time. And it was really, it was my girlfriend's kind of, oh shoot, I never gave this a wash. With the brass. I missed one. I missed a spot, Adam. I pulled an Adam. Yeah, it was really good. It was, frankly, I just really needed the vacation from work. You know? To me, just taking a couple weeks off from work was really needed. I don't take a lot of vacation. In fact, I got an email just before leaving. They were like, hey, you haven't taken any vacation, Jay. I'm like, well, I know. They're like, take some vacation. And I didn't, I of course told them I was taking vacation. It was just later in the year. Our fiscal year is November to October. So I took the vacation later very late in the fiscal year. But as I said, it was a really good time. Enjoyed it. Met a lot of nice people. We were significantly the youngest people on that tour. We were one of the younger couples. There was one other younger couple and then like two kids. By kids, I mean like mid-20s and 30s from one of the people there. So I'm going to return back to my brass scorpion and paint away. So it was good. You know, not a lot of younger people. Most of the people were already retired. And they're all American. We were the only Canadians on the tour. So I said a lot of dad jokes and had a lot of fun. I bugged the tour guide a lot. Oops. Our tour guide didn't like dad jokes. So he was in trouble. Picture me on a tour with someone who does not like dad jokes. So as I said, my goal for this episode of Painting with Jay is by the time I'm done painting here, they're all done painted. I'll have to wait to base that last one because I only sanded it today, just before the video. So that one will not be done. It'll be done today, but just won't be done by the end of this video. Yeah. That's okay. And then I don't have a bunch of Killa Kans. And then when I got back, because it was Orktober, technically, I I've definitely used that phrase before. I was excited because while I was away, I found out that, Speed Freaks was coming out, and I was able to get a copy, of course, as you guys know, by my unboxing videos. And the Codex, I came back, and the new Orc Codex came out, which I really love it. Please check out my Codex review if you want to see it as well. But yeah, it's a good Codex. I think a lot of the rules are really powerful, and I'm having a good time playing Orcs. And the fact that my Orcs are out shooting several armies, I've filmed a few battle reports, which you're going to see in the near future. They were filmed out of order, and I'm going to admit that now. I did film one with Stu that will be out in the near future, but I'm going to rearrange them just for a quick... There's a reason why it needs to be rearranged, but that's okay. So I filmed a couple with Dave, one with Stu, and the new Orcs are really holding their own against armies that should blow Orcs out of the water in the shooting phase. But Orcs can keep up. Now, I didn't find the Orcs assault phase to be that drastically improved because I've been using very shooty cultures, Death Skulls and Bad Moons. Death Skulls has that reroll 1 in any phase. Each unit can reroll 1 dice to hit, to wound, damage. Each one per turn. Cool. And the Bad Moons reroll 1s, which are just nuts. Ludas with Bad Moons rules are nuts. Now the def, like if you go offensive for melee, then that's really Goff's territory, I find, because then you can give them Scar Boys, which you get +1 strength, so now they're wounding a lot of things on 3s, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. Goffs, for every 6 to hit in close combat, generates another attack, which is pretty nasty. And you can still stack boys so that they get, 6 attacks on the charge. So statistically, it's really 7 attacks on the charge. Like, that's nuts. Hitting on 3s, wounding most things on 3s if they're strength 5. So, and plus, taking them from 4s to 5s is good if you're going on big things, because anything that's toughness 8, it'd be wounding on 5s instead of 6s. So, it's quite nice. But again, I've been doing a combination of shooty and assault, and so I'm happy with my shooting. That one's dry. Okay, this may not be the longest episode of Painting with Jay. After such a long break, maybe I'll base the other 2, because it's coming along. Whoops. I apparently didn't leave enough stuff to do during this video. Now I'll just take some Pallid Witch flesh and paint the bones, or the teeth, sorry. Whatever they are. The spikes. And these Gratsukas. But yeah, so then since I'm coming back, I've painted a bit. I've touched up some Ludas. Now I have 20. I bought some Ludas secondhand a while ago. And my friend Rob gave me some Ludas a while ago. But everything's red. Because you'll see in one of my battle reports, I use his old Knob Bikers. He was really big on red. So, red and blue skin. So all my Ludas had blue undertones, which is okay, because, Death Skulls. Right? That was okay. Which was good, as I said. So yeah, the new Orc Codex came out. I spent a lot of time thinking on my trip, and it's going to come out over the next little while of my stuff. I still want to keep making videos. I really do. I'm gonna tweak my Patreon campaign. It's not going to be per video anymore. It's going to be per month, in case anyone wants to support it, because that way I can just put as many videos as I want without constantly have to hit people for the money. It's nice. And yeah, I'm going to keep going hard. I've gotten some good traction from my last couple battle reports, and people really want to see them. So it's been really good. I'm going to keep going. I can't obviously do this full time. I'll never be able to do it as a career, probably, and I understand that. But that's okay. I'm going to keep making videos in my free time and painting. I got so many more orcs to paint. It's going to be fun. The next few months will probably just be orcs, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to start a new army, and then I'm like, you know what? I have all these orcs. They should be painted. Let's paint what I have in front of me. I've been very good this year. I haven't bought that many models. I did just get a copy of Blackstone Fortress, which has 45 models in it, which is hilarious. And they're really beautiful models. As I said, anybody who's interested in that game, the models are terrific. I love the ratlings and the robots. They have Trader Guard. So... yeah, beautiful models. Same with the Speed Freaks. I'm going to assemble some Speed Freaks soon. I've already painted the Shock Jump Dragsta. It's my favorite of the new vehicles that I have. I do have, as well, I did the model I bought, as well I bought the new HQ, the War Trike, because it was... it's basically required now for non-bikers. If you want to take non-bikers, you got to take... it works very well with can walls and with and Def Dreads and Morganauts as well. But it pertains to vehicles, right? Because the Warboss bike is gone. And I'm going to put the Squig on this custom Gorkanaut that I'm going to work on next, probably. Next week's vehicle... I haven't decided. Next thing that I'm working on, probably the Gorkanaut, my custom Gorkanaut that my good friend Cody Rue. I haven't caught up with him in a few weeks. Hope he's doing okay. Okay, Cody Rue, if you're watching this video, hope you're doing well. I haven't heard from you. I haven't talked to you in a while, a few weeks. So Cody Rue built me a while ago this vehicle. It's his custom. It's in. Cody Rue likes to scratch build everything he does, and he's amazing at it. And I mean amazing. And so, Cody Rue built me, in his model's image, a larger version of his guys. He scratch built his, Killa Kans and his Def Dread and everything. And he built me one, too. And I intentionally didn't want to finish it until the new Codex came out, because once again, I really do want to make it like a centerpiece of my army. It's so amazingly built. And I wanted it to be at one point it would have been like a mega grot tank or something, because there's definitely grots on it, but it looks like a looted wagon. A looted wagon, or it could have been like a Morkanaut or Gorkanaut. I'll show you. You guys will definitely see it, and it's in my most recent battle report with Dave. It's as you see, it really does have a Gorkanaut feel to it. It has very similar guns to a Gorkanaut, but it's kitted out to such a crazy level, because Orcs love DACA, of course, that I was debating on whether or not to make it a looted tank. And apparently the next chapter approved will have rules for looted tanks, which is cool. For Orcs, looted vehicles. Looted wagons, as they call them. And that'll be cool. But I've decided I'm going to make it a Gorkanaut, and I'm going to put a claw on it. So I'm going to add a little bit to Cody Rue's mad geniusness. And I'm going to... make it into a Gorkanaut, as I said. It'll be nice. And it'll be good. So I'll be painting that. I gotta finish assembling it then. I gotta put the claw on it in the next couple days. But once I'm done this, I'm probably gonna assemble some biker boys and then bring the that custom Gorkanaut out and start working on it too, and get as much done before next week's painting with Jay as I can get. Because that way I can have it all nice and I'm doing a tournament in a couple weeks. The Brawl in the Hall, which I do every now and then. I've done several Brawls in the Halls. It's run by my friend Dave. So go check out his website. It'll be in the link. I'll put the link in the description below in case anyone is in the area. This year it's in, I believe, Lakefield. And it'll be a 2,000 point tournament, but it's just for fun, right? I'm pretty sure all prizes are based on like raffles and stuff, and yeah. So it was really good. I'll put a link in the description below. So if you guys want to check out the Brawl in the Hall, put a link. Yeah, as I said, it'll be about 2,000 points. It is 2,000 points, sorry. I'm going to be bringing my Gorkanaut because he's cool, and I want to bring him. So I have to get them done. Now these cans are going to be in my list too. If you can notice a theme. The cans are going to be in this list as well. So they're all going to be nice and done. And that's good. As I said, the whole point of this video series is to rid our world of unpainted models. And orcs are going to, by forcing me to paint orcs, this year I started Tyranids, right? I started with Tyranids. And with Tyranids, that got really a large portion of my unpainted models out of the way. But orcs are even more than Tyranids. And so with Tyranids, I painted about hundreds, I think. It was hundreds. Orcs are hundreds as well, I'm pretty sure. I've already painted, since getting back to orcs, 15 Ludas. I've touched up these 12 cans, painted 3 of them really from scratch. The shock jump dragsta. Yeah, so now I'm going to be working on my custom Gorkanaut, and my I got some biker boys. Now I always made biker boys into not bikers, but I also have a gigantic blob of like 9 other not bikers that I have to touch up in the near future, and I think 18 not bikers is enough not bikers, really. So I'm thinking I'll make the other 3 into biker boys. So I have 6 from the Speed Freaks box set. Right? So 6 from the Speed Freaks box set. I'm going to make all of them into biker boys. So that way, if I really wanted to, I can break it up into 3 squads of 3 and just add a knob in each one. So I could have 3 squads of 3 biker boys, each with 2 biker boys and a knob, which works for me because I have tons of knobs already. And it'd be a good way of just, you know, spreading out my army, some fast models that my opponent will have to deal with. I'll just create some fun lists, you know. It'll just, as I said, create some fun lists and have some fun. I've played 3 games. I filmed 3 games so far with the new orcs. 2 at 2,000 points. And orcs are just really good. Orcs are really good. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to take some white now. So these, it's kind of a weird one, but I have snow and grass, so it's kind of this mid-season, and actually that's what's going on right now in Canada. We're in this what I call pre-winter area, where people forget in Canada, you know, that it's only autumn. In fact, we just hit the midpoint of autumn, right? It's autumn. It's not winter. But if you looked outside right now, you'd see snow. It's been snowing on and off the last 4 days here in Peterborough. And it is freaking annoying. Because now it does get you in like the Christmas mood. Now that's fun. You know, like Christmas is now like full throttle now that it's past Remembrance Day. All the stores are now like full Christmas. And heck, we're going to put up our tree probably in the near future as well. All the shows are Christmas after, you know, after Halloween. Even like Christmas movies have already started on TV. But that's cool. It gets you in the spirit. And the next month and a half is going to be fun because of the Christmas. You know, it's a fun, festive time of year. And then what happens with me is that, you know, like, again, right now it feels like winter, but it's really autumn. And then after Christmas, then Christmas is over. It's only the 4th day of winter. And then all of a sudden you look and you're like, oh, great. Now only 3 more months of winter, you know? So, yeah. It happens. But, as I said, winter, it's here. I gotta get my winter tires on, but I need new winter tires, so I had to order new tires. Happens. Okay. So what can I do? We're only 30 minutes in. Alright, let's hit the bone parts with a little watered down Agrax Earthshade. Oh, and this is the one I haven't painted that one yet, so let's do that as well. Yeah, so life's been good, you know. My work, a lot of changes are happening in the near future. Oh, what else? Sorry. I also went to a tournament after I got back, which was the Mike Mudd Memorial Tournament. It's a really cool charity event tournament for in memory of a guy named Mike Mudd. It's held in Stratford, Ontario, and my friend Scary has a hand in it. I think he's one of the people running the tournament. And so I did it. It was a fun charity event. It was a tiring day because I left here, you know, I had to drive to Stratford, which is 3.5 hours away, 3 hours away, and then do the tournament, and then come back. It was very busy day. I had fun. It was a good time. Well run. You know, it's for charity, so that was good. I totally missed the boat on my thoughts of the game. I getting myself caught up in beating my opponent. I brought Tyranids because the rules really actually favor Tyranids. No characters allowed, and it was just a single battalion detachment. So it could really, you know, really, Tyranids were solid. In fact, a lot of people brought Tyranids and Harlequins as well. Any army that doesn't really rely on a specific named HQ, like Necrons could do really well with an Overlord. Good time. Sorry, and as I said, I won all my games significantly. And I came in the top, I'm pretty sure, 7 or 8 people. I just didn't focus on the points. And that's what people were doing. They were smart. They weren't focusing on beating each other. They were just focusing on getting the points. Because each game you can get points for certain things. And so my games finished really early. I was pretty efficient with my game times. And I watched a couple of their games. And that's when I kind of clicked in. I'm like, oh yeah. People were intentionally doing things that were not. It's back when I played a lot of Maelstrom of War. What you noticed was people would play in the weirdest strategies so that they'd get more points, right? Makes sense. So people would, rather than killing your opponent, would just move in the opposite direction so that, because one of the games, for example, you got points. I'm just going to cross from the camera for a second. In one of the games, you got points for how many units you had in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of the game. And what I noticed was, instead of, you know, going for your opponent, people would just intentionally go in the opposite direction to get points. And that's okay. Like, obviously, it's the name of the game. You play to the tournament, of course. I'm just gonna flock these bases while we're here. Got a lot of work done. That's good. See, and by the end of this video, I'm gonna have to base that one Killa Kan, and then I'm basically done. These guys will be in my battle report room, and life will be good. I'm glad they're done. And the Ludas are done. Ludas, oh my goodness, I didn't want to painting with Jay them. I just wanted to, I'm power watching Daredevil, and yeah. I watched Iron Fist. I've watched that whole season since getting back. I powered through it. It was okay. The problem was, it was like each episode was very, you know, formulaic. You know that they're going to go somewhere, and then someone there will know Kung Fu. And then there's going to be a Kung Fu fight. And the good guys are going to win. And yeah, it was like, everyone knows Kung Fu. That makes sense. It's been canceled, I know, since by Netflix and Disney. But of course, there's always the suspicion that Disney is just taking the Marvel shows and moving them to their own, because Disney now has a streaming network. And so they'll just move there. Which I hope, because Luke Cage got canceled just after Iron Fist. And Luke Cage I really liked. Iron Fist is okay. Out of all of them, Daredevil's by far my favorite, and I'm watching Daredevil right now. What I love about Daredevil is that, it is formulaic in the sense that, you know, at some point in each episode, there's going to be a brutal fist fight. You know it. A fight is going to break out, usually in the most random areas, but a fight will break out. But what I really like about Daredevil is the fight scenes are much more realistic, and they don't seem like a choreographed, you know, like, as I said, Iron Fist, it's like a choreographed fight number that's, you know, Kung Fu, and it's very unrealistic. I'm like, okay, another choreographed fight number, all right, another fight number. And it's like, cool, all right, this time they used a pan, awesome. Right? And it's not bad. It's not terrible fighting or anything. It's just you know, a choreographed fight number. But in Daredevil, it is really just a brutal, brutal fight. Those of you who haven't seen the series, like the fights are just brutal, beating the crap out of the other guy. And I know they're choreographed in some fashion, right, to film, but they're so well put together, and a lot of them are so in each season, there tends to be like one fight that's almost like one continuous shot. In this season, it happened in a prison. But it's just amazing. Like, as again, you know that the good guy is just going room to room and getting in these brutal fights. And they seem very realistic, and that they're honestly hurting. And it's I think it's just they're more, I don't know, I wouldn't say barbarian or anything, but it's just the nature of the brutal nature of these fights, that they're really just two guys destroying each other, throwing them against each other, against the wall, and punching. It seems more realistic, and it's definitely more. It draws you in. You actually become. You go, oh my goodness. You know, this fight is brutal, and that's why I think. And also, Daredevil has typically the best storyline. I'm not the biggest fan of Kingpin, to be honest. Kingpin, it's too unrealistic how omnipotent Kingpin is in these series. Basically, Kingpin controls everyone, and he can control everyone, and everyone's afraid of him. And despite the fact he's in prison, and it doesn't matter, he's still completely controlling everyone from behind the scenes, and no one can stand up against him. And I'm like, come on, somebody would just eventually shoot him. It's like everyone in the TV show Daredevil is crooked. Everyone can be bought off. Everyone can just serve Kingpin. I'm like, every guard, every prisoner, every cop, every person on the street, every photographer, every news reporter, every politician. And it's just, it's too unrealistic. You can't, that level of, perfect. That level of corruption is just, again, it's theoretically possible, but come on. Really, and as I said, it's not that hard. Someone would just eventually kill him. Every lawyer, every person, every law firm, everyone's afraid of him. You know, if you think about throughout history, every world leader who's at that level of corruption, well, almost every world leader. I'm not getting into that debate. But it catches up with you eventually, right? It does. You can't go on forever. Unless you're like, there's certain world leaders that dictator states, but yeah. Cool. So we're 40 minutes in, and I think I'm going to, well, you know what? I could probably do a little more basing on these guys. Yeah, why not? Let's get even more basing done. I was prepared for this. Let's get some grass on. Yeah. As I said, these guys are pretty much done. I really like the fact that they're going to be all done, and yeah, I don't even know how many guys I have left. I can make a list. If you do want to keep up, I do keep a lot of myself on my Facebook. And as I said, there's going to be some big changes in the near future, hopefully to my Patreon. I'm going to try to get that more off the ground. The Warp, by the way. I decided while in Europe, Miniature Painting 101. It was a great series of videos, but the old videos in it, like episodes 1 through 10, were really, I wouldn't say not well done, but they were old, right? They're a little out of date, but they still apply. I think people get some good information from them. But, so I have decided that in the Warp, if you want to go see Airbrush 101, you can just go watch it. They're all for free now. They're all available. And because that channel's not monetized, I don't have the subscriber level to keep it monetized. It's just for free, and you don't have to watch any commercials. So if you want to go see Airbrush 101, Go check it out. What else am I'm going to get some old shows back. Q&J has to come back. It's been so long. I think people really liked it, and also it helped. You know, it was just fun to answer questions and stuff. So I'll probably bring Q&J back in the near future, probably in the next week or so. Film a quick, you know, my first episode will be just simply maybe one question and then asking you guys for more questions. And then, sorry, I'm just about to get the glue. It's almost empty, and I have to, it's like, I have to shake it a bunch of times to get the glue out. Yeah. As I said, Q&J will be back, I think. Battle reports are back, and I have tons of painting tutorials moved from the warp. So, content will still keep coming, and that's it too. I think it's been a successful year as far as the amount of videos that I've put out. I always want to put out more. That's no matter how many I put out, I want to put out more. But you know what? I'm getting some traction back. It's not like every month my views is going down. Now it's actually going up again. And I'm confident that I can resurrect this channel in the sense that it wasn't completely dead, but needs some more content. And I'm going to bring back some channels. And I'm also going to think about what videos I want to do from now on. I'm thinking, now that the Orc Codex is out. Now, here's the thing. I was thinking about this as well. See, I'm jumping all over the place, but now I'm just flocking these, this grass flock. But I don't actually have a very high portion of units in the Orc Codex. Because there's so many combinations of orcs that you can run that I just don't have them all. Like, it's insane, right? I don't have Zagstruck or the I don't have Storm Boys. I don't have Snickrot, and I don't have, you know, Commandos. I do have Cans, and I have most of the heavy support. I don't have the Grot, the mech guns, which are freaking insane now, by the way. I'll get some. I do have most of the heavy support. Obviously, I have Gretchen, I have Orcs. That's true. I have, HQ-wise, I have Goskell Thraka. I don't have Mad Dog Grotzek is a elite choice. Zeg, I have a Warboss. I have a Big Mech. But my Big Mech is now the index entry. And as we discussed, so one of the videos I think I want to do is like a unit by unit Tactica series for orcs. I can do it for Tyranids probably. Tyranids as well. And orcs. Grey Knights. Grey Knights are pretty easy. Of course, I haven't played a lot of Grey Knights, but cool. Alright, so we got a lot of stuff done then. The arms are done. I just gotta, well actually they're probably dry now. I could probably just take a quick do a quick highlight with my Pallid Witch Flesh and get these guys done. So the arms are basically done. And arms are done. As I said, so the arms are done. And this is old. I can tell with my old, when were they painted. Arms are done, and all I have left is to base the wet, as I said, the sand isn't just completely dried yet, for that one can. And the cans are done. So the Killa Kans are all done, and they'll be in future videos. As you know, I love Killa Kans. They're one of my favorite units in the Codex. I did make the mistake in one of the videos briefly that they don't have clan cultures, of course, because they're Gretchen. But that's okay. We can all make mistakes, right? So, look at that. We got a lot done. These guys are all done, and then next week I'll probably be working on my Gorkanaut if it's not done by then, or some Biker Boys, or some Burna Boys, or I think I have like 30 Grots, and it's just going to be hilarious. So, let's end now. So that concludes another Painting with Jay. I really hope you got stuff done. Once again, a huge shout out to Cody Rue. Adam, you missed a spot, and I missed you guys. I haven't painted in a while with you all, and I'm glad that we're able to get stuff done. I hope you're reading your world of unpainted models, as well as this year, I hope you're able to get a lot of models painted. It's been a lot of painting for me this year, and the fact that I'm now tackling orcs, and once orcs are done, that's actually going to represent a very large portion of my unpainted models. That's very nice. So stay tuned for more videos as always. Till next time, this is Jay saying, also, as always, this is brought to you by my Patreon campaign, as I mentioned. Please go check out the link in the description below if you want to help support my campaign. It really does mean a lot, more than you can imagine. It's through my Patreon campaign that I hope to improve my videos in the near future with my technology and my terrain for my battle reports and everything. So stay tuned for more videos. Till next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting with me.